Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Picksburgh. My name is Anthony. I appreciate you joining me and my buddy Nate over here every day. I'm hustling.
What up?
It's our weekly sports card Q&A talk show. Appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. Nate, what kind of stuff did you do this week, man? What'd you get into? Anything fun?
Honestly, not too much fun this weekend. Just with the kids to work, babysitting somebody. So it's been a rock, a little crazy this way.
Yeah.
Couple days.
So, like, what's been going on for you, like, hobby wise, as of late?
Sending in a bunch of cards, of course.
Nice.
I sent that Kobe and Express and that Aaron Rodgers and one of my Hardens Express, and then
Nice.
I got your order out, sent in. Actually, had some movement on a PSA order for once, which is music to anybody's ears that would be doing their own submissions or that doing with us. So,
What's up, Frank? Good to see you, man.
what's going on, Frank?
Yeah, that's huge though, man. Finally getting some kind of movement as far as our submissions go, man, because how many submissions do we like just under your account, which like is semi new? Like, I bet you probably have you probably have close to a dozen submissions in with them at this point.
2, 4, 6, 7, and then I got 2 more, almost 9, about 9.
Yeah, so you're getting
2 of
close
them
to
being
that.
Express. Yeah.
So how's your day going, Frank? Good to see you, my man.
What about you? How's things with you?
Dude, things are good, man. I've been real busy this week, man. I haven't had a whole lot of time really just to be at the house and like really grinding, like, you know, with eBay and stuff like that. So, you know, I've had 2 separate consignment deals come in that like each one took like a big chunk of my day. So one of them, you know, I took in some really nice basketball cards from a buddy of mine. Hey, Moko Cards, good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. So yeah, I took in a bunch of higher end basketball cards from a buddy of mine, like nothing like super high end, but mainly in like the $50 to $200 range. You know, so been selling off a few of those for him, and today I just picked up a really nice consignment on some OG Pokemon cards from the 90s. So I'll probably have a video out of that probably on Monday or something like that.
Nice.
Simeon's in the house. Good to see you, bro. Moko Cards lives in South Fayette. That's awesome. Right next to Kel. Dude, we'll have to meet up next time I roll out there.
Did I go to Kel's with you, or did that?
No,
where you went the
I
other
was
day?
the first one in the video. Where there was like tons of cards. That was the one where I ended up buying like a big old stack of stuff. I'm gonna bring like half of it to our auction tomorrow, and the other half basically is like PC stuff. But I have actually a video coming out tomorrow at noon with like everything I picked up from basically Kel's, and the second place was the only spots that I bought stuff, and I only got 1 card from Clubhouse Cards, and it was only because it was a colored parallel of a Cavalier I didn't have yet. So like still building those rainbows on the Cavs. But I did give you a pretty. Hey Sandy, good to see you. Glad you're here. I did give you a pretty nice shout out in tomorrow's video, Nate. Because I picked up a card of one of your favorite players.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I just started using this Apple Watch. Like I got it for Christmas, and I just started using it because I started doing my exercises and I need my heart rate and everything. This sucker sends me like notifications to like everything. And then like you ever get those notifications from like spam people or like from people you don't like necessarily want to know you read their message yet?
Right.
So like just me trying to close it now, and I have fat fingers, like I'm opening all these messages and I'm having to like deal with all kinds of things like on the fly. Oh yeah, that might be a little shady going to meet with a grown man. I definitely feel you, man. Definitely. But that's cool, man, that you're close to there. Maybe we'll see each other, bump into each other at some point if you go to Kel's a lot. The other day was actually my first time there. My buddy Marty, who I was there with, he goes there like once a week at least.
Did that shop just open up, or?
No, it's been there for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's been there for a while. I've just never been. I mean, honestly, dude, like until I really started getting heavy with like garage sales and stuff like that, and like really trying to like make a living on eBay, I never really ventured outside of my area for other things. You know what I mean? So if I wanted to go to like a card shop or something like that, like ideally I would either just hit it up at like, you know, the flea market where you can get like really awesome deals, because of the flea market, everything's negotiable. Or like I would just go to ones that were like closer to my house, you know? So like now that I'm like super obsessed with cards, it's like I'm trying to hit up like every shop I can find, just trying to see if, you know, just like we see like on Sasha T, you know, where you can go there and make trades with other, you know, people that are there in the hobby, just other collectors, and then maybe make trades with, you know, the shop owners or whatnot. So that's kind of my thing, is I'm trying to find that local community, you know what I mean? Like that local hands-on community of, you know, collectors that, you know, can trade and, you know, just do different things together. So I've been really trying to connect with as many people like that lately as possible.
Yeah, whenever you're trading, you know, like a store owner or
Definitely,
whatever,
man.
it's up with a little bit of value sometimes. So that's why that's my main thing too. I want to be able to go out and about and just make different trades, and maybe the cards are exactly the same value, but you know, maybe I like the player a little bit better or whatever, or maybe you see his cards go up, just like I think that LeBron that I seen the case at that one place we went to in the mall. There's a 7 Bowman rookies and stars or something, and I think it's up to like 1,500 right now. So he only wanted 500 for it, so it tripled in value since we seen that last.
Yep, definitely. So Moko was asking about how does he find out about Sports Card Show at Westmoreland Mall. The next one's actually February 26th, 27th, and 28th. So it's coming up here soon. It'll be all weekend, just like it was last time. Then there'll be one in April, and then one in October. So 3 more coming this year to that mall. But I have a list of when the shows are and everything like that. I can post these in our Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, we will definitely have all of those available in there. Yeah, we both invest in cards, mainly basketball for me. I do some football, but essentially what I do with football is I normally just grade it and sell it, you know, and keep all the Steelers for myself because I'm a big Steeler collector. But basketball is where I do most of my investments personally.
Yeah, mine's basically mostly basketball, some football. Maybe I'll do a little more baseball, maybe a little bit. Mostly probably guys that have already made kind of like their mark, and just their stuff isn't super, super, super high because maybe they're on a bad team or whatever, and hopefully they get traded, something like that. There's just so many players, like especially like in the minor leagues and stuff. It takes a lot to really know baseball.
Yeah. Share this out on Twitter real quick, Nate. I'm gonna grab the wheel.
So I know there's been a lot of talk of vintage and the hobby lately, and kind of what's kind of your like thoughts on like what's going on right now for the most part?
As far as vintage, I love what's happening with vintage because it's giving. See, the cool thing is, the really nice thing is I kind of did this accidentally, not really knowing what the market was going to do, but like right when I first started subbing my PSA stuff for you, like I was going and grabbing a whole bunch of vintage stuff, and vintage was like way down. And it's like now that like vintage is super hot, I've been buying up all kinds of modern stuff. So like I'm just trying to zig where I see the market zagging. And, you know, once, you know, that first PSA order that we just saw movement on, once that sucker comes in, man, I'm going to be sitting pretty because, you know, I sent in like all of like my better stuff in that order.
Yeah, that order I had some MJ stuff, and I know you had like basically all like the 2003 class for the most part in that order.
Yep.
I have some Shaq, some Michael Jordan, Pascal Siakam, which that's going to be a rough card to sell because he's not having the greatest year.
Yeah.
Cam Newton rookie, a James Harden silver from 2016, a Michael Jordan medal, Jamal Murray rookie, and a Draymond Green rookie prism is what I got coming back out.
Here's a good question, since we've already had question in regards to, do you invest in cards? Jeff Airtime in the house. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here.
What's up, Jeff? Good to see you.
So at what point do you give up on an investment of yours? You know what I mean? Like, say, for example, like Cam Newton's rookie, that you went and picked up, hoping that he would have success with the Patriots, but he didn't really pan out the way they thought he would. Like, are you still like, is he still a guy you're holding on to? Or like, is that one that you kind of are like, all right, I'm just going to recoup my money and kind of move it into something else? Like, at what point do you kind of get to that decision?
It just basically depends on the player and the situation. Like with Cam Newton, for example, if I had his card and with all the quarterbacks running around going to different teams and want to get traded and, all that type of stuff, right when he gets traded, he's going to a new team. Someone's going to be excited, hopefully. So I'm hoping his prices would spike right then and there, and I would have his card back. So if that's the case, then I would sell it right then and there when the hype is at its highest, because I don't know how much more Cam's going to play or how much better his career is going to take off, because he is towards the end-ish, I would say. He probably still has a couple of years left if he does play good next year. But that's the main thing. Like, take a look at the player, where they're at, their situation, their contract. Like, if it's somebody who's going to be a rookie the following year, I'll hold till they kind of figure out what they're going to do. Are they going to resign? Is he going to go to a different place? Because sometimes for a player, they just need a different scene or a different venue to kind of maybe have a better performance or stat line, because maybe they weren't getting, or maybe they just weren't a good team. So that's kind of my thing. Like, I have some Sekou that I have graded that I bought, and his stuff is kind of plummeted because of Modern for sure. And
dude, he's not getting that love this year. You know what I mean? Like, they're not giving him the kind of playing time that I feel like he deserves, especially with the team that's not really performing up to snuff. I'm hoping they'll kind of, like, they've already traded D Rose, you know what I mean, just to kind of help give Killian Hayes some more playing time. So I'm not saying that anyone's going to pick up Blake Griffin's contract, but you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see them make a way to give Sekou a little bit more playing time, especially with as much stuff as I've said in the PSA. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that's good about the stuff that you did send, like for worst case scenario, you probably didn't pay super high $1 for the stuff raw. So
it was all out of breaks and out of packs that I've ripped personally. So yeah, it was like I got it for next to nothing.
So
I was picking up those Detroit Pistons breaks all year at like $1.99, $3, something just cheap, just to get a chance at some short printed Sekou love. I want to say what's up to Wicked Discounts. Appreciate you being here, my friend. And we got Jimmy in the house, Uncle B's, old Flips. Good to see you, my friend.
What's up, Jimmy? Yeah, with you paying that little for that stuff and the grading costs wasn't express or anything crazy, you should still be able to like break even, because you should still be able to get $20 for his PSA 10.
Oh, heck yeah.
So, that's worst case scenario. So for you, luckily, because you didn't do any crazy like express or anything like that, it's not going to really shoot yourself in the foot type thing like another person did, where they sent in a bunch of cards, I guess express, and they weren't very good, condition type stuff. It was supposed to be stuff just bulked away and sent in, and they ended up losing their $3,000 or whatever. So that kind of hurt.
Thanks, Wicked. I appreciate it, man. Grunt Dad's in the house. What up, man? I'm gonna let you in on a secret though. My card room's not real. One day, this is what I aspire to have, though.
Right.
I might have enough shelves or enough slabs to fill like one of them boxes, if not two, but like definitely not for a whole room yet.
Once I get everything back from PSA, I'd probably be able to fill like the whole back wall of whatever I have shown right now.
I mean, we can definitely show off some stuff. I got a bunch of slabs here, but like I said,
we could do some show and tell this week. But yeah, for like that type of stuff, now if you're paying like kind of how I did with Sekou, buying his prisms and stuff. That hurt.
Yeah.
Just like how the Kevin Porter stuff kind of hurt. You know what I mean? Like my newest, prettiest card that I got in my collection. Kobe Mad Game Refractor. Kobe
dude, so how about
Kobe
that dude
White
from France? That dude from France backed out of my James Wiseman on me.
There goes the Seiko's I was talking about. There's a silver in his prism. But honestly, so far that's like been one of the few like bad investments that I've bought.
Yeah, look it's green. They're green screens. So like I can pretty much put anything back there. Like I'm hanging out with the Magic Johnson, Larry Bird rookie that I want really bad that I can't afford yet. My man Berto Clemente. But yeah, they're green screens. They're just cool ones that look like we're in a fancy room.
This is one of the ones I bought early on before the season started.
Bet you're loving that one now.
Because it's select, it popped off like when they were having their big, you know, like streak after they beat the Steelers and stuff, which would have been the best time probably to sell right around that time. Luke rookie.
Oh heck yeah, Jeff. I would love to grab one of his autos too.
Trey rookie. What up, Paul?
What's up, Paul? Good to see you, man.
Was Tatum. Dunk on. Yeah, I got plenty of slabs hanging around.
Yeah, me too, dude. Like I have too many slabs. And the nice thing is, like, I have an order coming in this week and another order coming in probably the next week as well. So it's going to be Slab City pretty soon. I got my first ever SGC order that'll be here Tuesday. Still crossing my fingers it'll come a day early on Monday, but Tuesday I should have my SGC slabs. So I'm looking forward to that. Got some decent grades, and I got a few that weren't as stellar. But you guys should see that video probably on Tuesday.
So I'm hoping that some of you guys picked up some awesome modern stuff since the modern market went nuts for a quick second, because it seemed like everyone kind of was on the same type of thought process, or hey, let's dump some modern, get some of these LeBrons and Jordans and different type of stuff. So there was so much opportunity for some awesome deals. You know, I saw a Zion Optic 10 for $200, which for how he's playing, and then I watched Luka and Zion play against each other yesterday. That was a nice game to watch.
Yep. I guess I can kind of show off some of the modern I've been picking up recently since the market's been down.
Just I still got to grab a Wiseman auto. Big potential there. Yeah, I think so too. I think if you can pick up like a Anthony Davis / Tim Duncan jump shot, I think he'll have a pretty awesome future in the NBA.
There's all like the newer modern stuff I've gotten in like the past like month or two. Got that for $20 at auction. Got that one for $20 at auction. I'm pretty sure I only paid like $40 for this one, and it's a 10. Yeah, in fact, I did pay $40 for it. Got that one at auction on eBay. Then I sold a Sexton for $300, pocketed over $100, and bought 2 red, white, and blues. This one I might send into PSA. I'm not sure yet. It's in much better condition than this one is, which I kind of thought SGC would be harder, but it still doesn't look as nice. I think I only paid like $35 for this optic Michael Porter, which was like, yeah, I have to buy that for $35. This is when he had COVIDs. Then I paid $55 for his red, white, and blue BGS 9. Thought that was a pretty good deal. Also when he had the COVIDs. And then maybe like a month before that, I picked up Tatum and Brown, and that was really before Brown started like going crazy. I think I only paid like $35 for this Brown, which is like a steal at this point. And I think I only paid like 70 or 80 for the Tatum, and they're both premier levels, which is like a little bit more rare.
I see you're Jerry Jackson 9, and I raised you to a Ruby 9.
There you go. I picked up some Tyler Heroes because his stuff's been like pretty decently down there as far as value. So I'm picking up some of his stuff. Then I got me some more Ja Morant's whenever he got injured. So I picked up a few more of his stuff.
Picked up this silver Tyler Hero Select for 66.
So essentially, this is all like the newish modern stuff I picked up probably in like 2 months. That was already graded that I haven't resold already. Because like a lot of times, like whenever I pick up slabs at auction, and if I get it cheap enough, I'll just flip it back to eBay. Dan, what's up, my man? DV in the house. Good to see you.
What up?
Paul says we're just a couple of flippers stealing the cards from kids. You got to be able to find the cards first to be able to steal them.
Right.
No, I'm actually lucky in the sense where I'm in an area that they ration the cards. So, like, I don't get a lot of cards ever, but, like, every once in a while, I'll be finding, like, 1 to 2 blasters or hanger or, cello or something to rip. But I'm pretty sure they changed the stock day at the store near me. So somebody sent me a message earlier today, so I'm going to go check a different day next week.
You're that one guy that made that video or whatever, he actually lives by you.
What guy?
You might who was yelling at those?
Oh, the flipper guy. Yeah. Does he really?
Yeah, he lives in Mars, PA.
Oh, that's not super close to me. That's probably like 40, 45 minutes away at least.
I think the Target or whatever was like 10 minutes from the one that you usually go to.
Really? I go to the one in Harmer.
Yeah, I think it was Harmer. I thought it was like 10 minutes from Mars, unless Mars is a super huge thing, which I didn't think it was.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Grunt Dad
says saw your video and he didn't know you lived in a small rural area.
Yep. Yeah, it is like a bigger city, but it's like surrounding the city is a whole bunch of like little towns. So like most of the places I go, I have to like drive through like smaller towns like that. Moko, I live in New Kensington, if you know where that is. It's like out Route 28. Okay, so Wicked's in Greensburg. So you're actually at least in my not township, but what is it?
Borough?
Borough? No.
I don't know.
County. You're in my county.
Yeah, Greensburg is basically right where I work.
Dude, Wicked, are you going to the card show at the end of the month? If you do, man, we should meet up.
What's up, Shane?
See you, man.
Good to see you.
Yeah, Moko, I was just there the other day. I went on, was it Tuesday, I believe? No, it might have been Wednesday I went, actually. There's a big sports card show at the Westport Mall, the 26th, 27th, and 28th of this month. There was one at the end of last month as well. So they're doing it again. I may be getting a table at this next one. I'm like really considering it.
We probably have to like let them know like now if we're gonna go.
Yeah. I'm gonna probably send them an email this weekend.
I'll definitely go to the show
Awesome.
and run to the casino. Win me some more money.
What's up, D? Good to see you. The master of your license plate has graced us. Awesome to see you. Really happy to have you here. Yeah, that's awesome, man. How often do you get to come back to Dallas? Because I know that you're you're living abroad right now.
Is there another show coming to Dallas again?
I don't know, man.
I heard she talking about it.
Dude, I was talking to Marty earlier today, and like we talk a lot because, either through him bringing me like consignment business or, we're just real like-minded when it comes to like cards and stuff like that. And I was telling him, man, like it's going to get to the point, if we keep doing these grading submissions, we could literally just work like a weekend a month going to like these big card shows and just, blowing out like tons of inventory.
As long as Vegas Dave's wrong. Yeah, that is true.
Yep. Gonna say what's up to my buddy Dakota over there at Sports Cards Anonymous. Appreciate you being here, man. It says Dallas goes again in March. That's awesome. Dude, how far is Dallas from Vegas? It's not too far, right? Well, Dallas or Texas is huge though, so it probably wouldn't be a drivable distance, I would think. Because we're going to Vegas in March.
It would probably be a little far for you.
Moko, they do it right. If you know where the casino is, like the entrance to the casino from the mall, they set it up right outside of the entrance to the casino from like the mall, like interior. So it's basically filling like 3 different sections of the mall, like right in the middle. Which is funny because they don't like advertise it at all. The ad that me and Nate saw for it was from last year. And then you get to the mall and there's like no signs or anything saying, hey, there's a card show here. So
driving from Dallas to Las Vegas or vice versa, it's 18-hour drive, says Google.
Yeah, that's not happening. My wife will kill me before that happens.
Now, plane ticket would be only $105 and 2-hour plane ride. That'd be more your steez for that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they had the card show, I think it was last month, I couldn't find anything about it. We actually went to an LCS and I heard the guy talk about it, and they're like, hey, there's going to be a card show here.
Yeah.
Or at Westmoreland Mall, coming up next weekend. And then I went online, I'm looking everywhere, and I couldn't find anything. The only thing I could find was stuff from the prior years that they had up on different pages like Facebook and everything else. So I don't know if they just didn't want to really, pay the money for advertising or really go out and away about it because of COVID and it could easily be canceled or whatnot. But man, it was pretty crazy to, I actually had to call the promotions people at the mall and make sure that was still going on. And that's when I found out that they were having it for sure. And then the person I initially called, they called me back like Monday or Tuesday after the show was over. Like, hi, I was trying to call you about the information you didn't know, but the show's over. I'm like, oh, I was already there. So
I'm posting right now in our Facebook group that list I showed you guys earlier. Nate, if you could share our Facebook group, I might have it in the description too, but just so it's easier for anyone that wants to see any of the local dates. There are also websites. Like I know Paul sent me a website once that had links to basically any card shows that were going to be like nationwide. And it didn't have any of these ones on there because like I said, the dude who did this show doesn't really advertise his stuff well. So I am going to post this in our Facebook group. So for anyone that's not a part of that, would be interested in seeing that, that's where it'll be.
Yep, I just threw it in the chat.
Cool. So it's officially posted there, guys. Anyone wants to see it. But like I said, there is also another website. I'll Google that one for you right now.
So what do you guys think about the vintage stuff? Is it going to keep climbing, or is it going to eventually halt, or is it going to crumble? What do you guys think?
I think some of it's going to hold. I mean, obviously, I think there's going to come to a point like where it's going to settle, which means some of it's probably going to go down. What's up, Craig? Landshark Picker in the house. I did just post a link in the chat there. This is another website that you can go by state and look up card shows. And there's other ones too. Hey, you too, D. Thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you being here. There's other websites if you Google like local card shows that you can find ones that are being advertised. This website that I shared isn't great for me and Nate because everything else is on the other side of Pennsylvania, which is a good 3 to 5 hours of a drive. So for us, it would be easier just to drive to like Cleveland, which is only like about a 2 to 2.5 hour drive. And there's a whole lot more actually even happening over there because we still have a lot of COVID restrictions in our state.
Granddad says he thinks it's going to crumble once the economy tanks. See, my whole thing with it is a lot of these prices are only getting paid for from a lot of these like share companies, and you know, there's some manipulation in the market, and it's not like fake manipulation where they say that, oh, this sold for this, like say, you know, like one of the Black Diamond VHS Disney tapes or something from back in the day. Yeah. People say that sell for thousands upon thousands of dollars, but you know, those don't sell because I'm sure a lot of people have tried to sell those and they didn't sell for that. So I think once kind of they've gotten their feel, they see that cars at the market where they are happy with and their investors are happy with their profits, when they go to sell, I think it's going to definitely crash some of those vintage prices. And I think that in turn could be what people talk about if you watch a lot of different people and they go, this is the bag. People are getting caught with the bag, and you know, holding a Michael Jordan card that once sold for say $700,000 and then it's only worth $200,000 is a lot bigger bag than say holding 2 Luka PSA 10s that are $1,500 and they end up going to $1,000 or $500 or whatever. So it's kind of like my thought on it, because those are the companies that are really driving the market to be where they're at. And because of the prices of that stuff just being insane, everyone sold as much stuff as they could to pick up that type of stuff, because that stuff is going to go basically in someone's vault and never be touched again until they're happy with the return.
Yeah. Moko, there's actually a lot of kids that go to shows too, man. So don't feel like just because you're a kid, you can't go and enjoy a good card show. Definitely kids welcome as well.
Do your homework. Tell mom and dad you'll do the dishes.
Yep.
And let me go to the show. I'll wear a mask, I promise.
Yep.
See? That's what my kids would have to do if they wanted to go to a show.
They would just have to defer all the really good cards to dad.
Right.
Come on, son. You're too young for any LeBron James. Send that over dad.
Kobe Silver Rookie? You don't need that. Hand that over here.
So Dakota said, I've been going to shows twice a year since he was 10. Great annual thing now. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And that's something I really want to do. Like, I was talking with Nate and with Paul, and I would love to go to the National. You know, for me, it's just going to be a matter of, like, inventory levels at that time. Because it's really not a matter of, like, if I can go. Like, if I have the right inventory, you know what I mean? If I can go out there and put out several of those, like, little slab cases, like, filled with slabs, which I think by the time the National comes around, I'll have enough slabs. Because, like, I have a lot of stuff coming back from PSA. It's just a matter on if PSA ever wakes up. Brendan's in the house. Good to see you, man.
When is the next National?
The next National, I believe, is the end of July, early August, somewhere in that time frame. Like the very last week, first week somewhere. Might be like a mixture of both, like last couple days and like the first couple days. Somewhere in that time frame. I think it's like a 5-day period. Like, what I'm thinking is, like, if we go out there with the type of heat we have, because, like, just to, like, break it down for you guys, as far as, like, modern, like, basketball and stuff like that goes, like, me and Nate, like, each probably had more, like, heat than, like, every vendor there put together as far as that stuff goes. As far as like true vintage, like TO6s or whatever the heck they are, like, you know, really old school type stuff, like we don't really have much of that, you know what I mean? But as far as like the new modern super liquid stuff, like we're flowing like, you know, like a crick with that stuff. So,
what up, AJ?
I think getting the chance to like go to something like that, I think we'd do really well. AJ in the house, what's up, my friend?
I mean, honestly, like, even if I didn't have anything back from PSA yet, like even my stuff I sent in August of last year,
Thanks,
like
Paul.
say that stuff doesn't even go back, I'd still want to go, just because you'll be able to read the market and kind of have opportunities that you wouldn't have normally. You know what I mean? Like when you go to these shows and things like that, you're paying usually under eBay for a good majority of stuff, and also the trade factor that we were talking about earlier, like that's a huge thing. So you know what I mean, like just kind of being there and seeing kind of what people are doing, you know, that's a key. That's a real good big key, just kind of seeing how the trends are, because you'll at a show that a trend could change in a matter of hours. You know what I mean? It could be heavy vintage, and then you're going there with Lucas and no one's buying. Then at the end of the show, everyone's buying all the Lucas or whatever. So it's just an amazing experience to just go to any type of show, any type of LCS or anything, because you have opportunity that you'll never have unless you go, you know?
Yeah. Dude, that would be awesome, man. He says he has a show in Houston that like rivals the National. That would be amazing, because I know in Pittsburgh we really don't have anything like that. We do get like a Steel City Con that comes once a year, which is like a pretty nice comic book con, but it's not really suited for sports cards. I mean, you can still find sports cards there and Pokemon cards and TCG stuff and, you know, a little bit of like everything pop culture. But like as far as like something like a true national type show, we don't really have anything like that. Like even our card show at the mall wasn't super big. You know what I mean? Like I was happy with it as far as like, you know, being able to find some cards I was actually looking for at a better price than eBay. But as far as like really like expecting something like, you know, you can see on YouTube and vlogs of people that went to Dallas or something like that, it wasn't like anywhere near, you know, that. Like our Comic-Con may rival what. Shut up, Siri. I'm trying to stream here. I don't know why, but for some reason the watch talks to me constantly. She always thinks I'm trying to say something to her. But that's awesome, dude.
There's a Three Rivers Comic-Con on May 2nd and 20 May 22nd, 23rd at the David L. Lawrence Convention Center.
Yeah, Dakota, I am thinking about getting a table. Like if I go, I probably would get a table, and like I would probably want to get like one and like split it with like Nate, Paul, and like anyone that would like, you know, be clicking up with me for the actual national. That way we could take turns going around and making deals and stuff like that. And there'd be somebody that's knowledgeable about the market that would be like, okay, I can broker deals for Anthony while he's gone on his stuff and have him not have to worry about, you know, underselling it or something like that. So, you know what I mean? Like I think when it comes to like cards and stuff like that, me and Nate have a pretty similar mind. So, you know, if he's able to get off from Mr. Burns for that week, I think we can make some real good money there.
Yeah, I should definitely be able to get some time off, especially with
But
this.
as far as selling or trading, like I kind of want to do both. Like I have stuff that I definitely want to trade for. Like I want to trade up my LeBron. Like I have an 8.5 of his Topps paper, 221. And I want to get that up to at least a 9. But if I'm going to something like that, I'd probably try to get a 10, just because like my main PC is Cavaliers and LeBron is like the ultimate Cavalier. So that's like the main card I really want. Like most people have like the Michael Jordan bucket list, which I kind of do too. But for me, I'd be satisfied just with like a 10 LeBron, just because that's my main PC. But I would trade for pretty much anything that I felt like I could make good money on, you know, either like a crack and resub or, you know, just something that I would get at a good value, or maybe even just trading more stuff for something that's a little bit more liquid. That would be an easier, faster flip type thing. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like a both and type thing, you know, because I kind of come from a background of selling on eBay anyway, so I'm like always looking for good deals that I can make a little bit of money on. So, I'm kind of all over the place with strategy sometimes because of that, because you know what I mean? Like for example, grading, like I always have stacks of stuff that has to go to PSA because 100% I need top dollar. But then I have a bunch of low dollar stuff that rather than just lotting or, selling for a few dollars here and there, like I've just been sending to GMA because it gives me a good $20 to $30 base, on each sale moving forward, and, even with SGC kind of being like a middle tier thing, that might not even be bad for like some mid tier stuff that I would like back a little quicker than sending express. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I try to just go with whatever I think makes the most logical sense for trying to kind of make as much money as I can on the stuff I already have or I'm ripping and stuff like that, just to kind of like stretch it a little bit further.
So if you're going to trade that Topps 221 for 10,
dude, yeah, that's going to be like plus cash and everything. Yeah, the
10 is going for 11.
That's something that's like a right now. That's like a tomorrow type thing. Whenever I have like all of my slabs.
The 10's going for 11.4 and your 8.5 is going for like 1,200. So
yeah,
it's like
that's definitely a tomorrow type trade. Yeah, and 11.10, like I don't even know if I want to be like in on the hot swing of that. You know what I mean? Like I would much rather wait, like, because here's the crazy thing. Like if you look back even to where I bought my LeBron, like I bought my LeBron in I think August when like the market was as hot as it could be, thinking, all right, this dude has a clear path to the finals. Like I was banking that he was going to win, and then I was going to see his card like double from his win, right? And what I didn't factor in is that there was a whole lot of other people thinking LeBron James is probably going to win. And a lot of the value was like kind of already baked in like previous to that. And most times, like even after a Super Bowl, like even you'll see like Pat Mahomes stuff, like you'll start to see his stuff start to drop off. Even like last year, you know what I mean? And it stayed down until like right around draft and it started to climb back up. So like right towards the end of the season is not really like the greatest time to be buying that type of stuff anyway.
Yeah, like even like the PSA 9 is like 26. And then like the BGS 9 is like 18.5. So if you're able to find a BGS 9, it'd be a little bit easier for you to trade up with right now with the comps of what they're going for.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I got that guy that I'm still trying to work a deal with. Like the really weird thing is like, it's like I want to do a deal with him, but like part of me kind of doesn't because I feel like he's wasted my time twice now. You know what I mean? Because like the first time, like me and you were just kind of chilling there the whole time and he just never got back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just out there whenever I hit up the 4 LCSs and, I might have been there for like 2 hours chilling at the mall, looking around stuff, with Marty. And it's not until like I'm pulling up at the house and, granted, I live like 45 minutes from that LCS. That dude finally texted me like, hey man, I'm at the store. Where are you at? It's like, well, I texted you at 10 a.m. telling you I'd be coming out there. I got there at 2:30 and I'm getting a text from you at like 5:30, like, where are you at? Like, so it's like, I want to trade for that card, but I don't know that I really want to like invest more time into somebody that's already like made me waste time and gas twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would more or less have to be, you let me know when you're at the store and I'll be there.
Exactly.
Because that dude seems like he doesn't value your time very much.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I mean, definitely, man. There should be some around you, man. If you just look on that website Paul put in there. AJ, no, they're green screens. This is what we hope to have one day, but right now we're definitely not up on all that.
PSA actually got through stuff a little quicker. We might have what you see.
That's awesome, Paul. He says the list of dealers is 11 pages long for the National. And that's the great thing. That's why you can find such good deals. Because just like, dude, I didn't even really look at the bargain bins as much as I should have when we were at the card show, just because for me, like, and the issues I'm having with like my back and hips, standing and like literally going through stuff for hours is not really conducive for me. But like, if I had a chair, like, could you imagine the gems we would have had? Like, just for $10, I handed you 3 things to send to PSA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they were all cards that are going to like make me decent money on the return. So it's like there are so many, like even Kells, like we were talking about earlier in the show. This dude like puts like fire in his boxes just because he doesn't want to have to deal with listing it or whatnot. It might not always be in like gem mint 10 condition, but by the same point, you're getting it for like $1, $3, and you know, most of the time it's like a $5, $10 card.
If you know what you're looking for, looking through some of those boxes and have a pretty good eye for, you know, condition and stuff like that, you can make some decent money going through some boxes.
Yep. I did not know that, Paul. Thank you for letting me know. He says you can't get a table at the National unless you're invited. So
he said at the National it's going to be in Cleveland in 2022.
Nice. We may have to definitely go to that one. We got to find a way to get invited for that one because that's close enough to drive. I will 100% go to that.
I'm sure those tables are pretty expensive for like a National or whatever.
So Moko's asking if we like his purchases. He was telling us some of the guys he was investing in. So he invested in Jaren Jackson, Miles Bridges, Cam Reddish, Cam Johnson, Dylan Brooks, and DeAndre Hunter. How do you feel about those guys, Nate?
I like half those guys. Jaren Jackson, like him with Ja. Miles Bridges and the Hornets, it's a work in progress. I think they're a piece or so away from actually having like a really great team, especially with LaMelo playing the way that he's playing. He's
been better than I thought he would be, though. I'll give him that much. Like
he's better than his brother already, in my opinion. Because I mean, like the flashy stuff that you see in like highlight stuff and everything else, you go to a game and you actually see him performing that stuff. Where his brother kind of lost his flash, and I don't know if that's because they ran more of a 2-point guard system in New Orleans, but with Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo being on the floor kind of at the same time, which is kind of weird, but I don't see that same flash that even Lonzo, like with LA when he was with LeBron. I seen a little bit there, here and there, but Cam Reddish, him and DeAndre Hunter are going to be fighting for kind of the same position, so I like DeAndre Hunter a little bit better than Cam Reddish. Reddish is a little bit more, seems like a defensive liability, which with the Hawks, they need somebody definitely more defensive on the wing because of having Trey and a couple other guys who's just not very good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Johnson, I liked. I did a video on him. He was like one of my early picks, like cheaper options.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think right now, unless you're buying like, PSA 10s or autos or anything like that, I don't think you're going to be losing much money on these guys. So I think that's a safe bet, especially Cam Reddish. I just picked up another Cam Reddish, and truth be told, like I'm not even that big of a Cam Reddish believer. I just think with Hunter being hurt right now, it might give Reddish a little bit more of an opportunity. And also I think that his stuff's dirt cheap. You know what I mean? So if he does anything, like you're probably going to get a nice profit.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like $20 for that Mosaic 10. I just picked up a optic. I think it was a hyper pink. I don't know if it was a 9 or if it was a 10, but I think I only paid $20 for that too. So, guys like that are cheap. Like I don't mind investing into those guys if I can get their, graded stuff for them for like $20 or less, because typically I'll, before I even realize the card's gone up, it doubles.
Yeah. There's a couple guys that I've done that with where I just grabbed them early just because I liked kind of his style play, that's how they are. And before he really popped, and I bought some of their stuff, and I did really well with that because I bought so early. So that's like the main thing. Like if you're going after some of these guys, maybe they're not the Zions of the world, but they're quality players that are making a good contribution to the team right now. Why not? You know what I mean? Like if you really like them guys, and that even makes it easier. So it's almost like you're PCing in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so Moko got a Lonzo Trier auto out of 10 at Kel's. He has a lot of numbered stuff in his bargain bins too, and he said he sold it for 30
There you
after
go.
shipping. So that's awesome, man. And that's the really nice thing, because my buddy Marty goes and he'll buy up a ton of stuff from Kel. And the cool thing too with Kel, if you pay him cash, so he doesn't have to like get a little bit of a fee on his thing, he'll actually even cut you a little bit of a break too. Like for anybody that I guess shops locally here. But yeah, he throws so much in there. Like he was telling me stories about how like disgusted he was when Patrick Mahomes finally like blew up, because he used to throw Mahomes stuff in his bargain bins, because like for the first year Mahomes wasn't even a starter. So like I'm thinking like, man, like think of all the Prism Mahomes, like he probably sold for $3 or $5 or whatever, just like his rookie year, and like to him it's like, okay, well this is basically like a Jacob Eason, you know what I mean, who could potentially have some value like going into next season as a starter, but I don't think anybody expected Mahomes to be what he was, you know what I mean? Like obviously he was a first round pick for a reason, but you know what I mean, to be like in that conversation for the generational player of his generation. You know what I mean? I don't think there was too many people that really would have thought that.
Yeah, if I was having a dollar box at a store, like if I had my own store and everything, there'd be definitely a vetting process on cards that would go in there, especially rookies, because just like you said, like, and especially quarterbacks, of all things, like in the box, I'm actually surprised that he would do that. But hey, I mean,
the funny thing is, I might have picked up the guy who could be the next Mahomes out of his dollar, or actually, I think I paid $2 for him. I picked up two. They weren't Prism or anything, but Jordan Loves, which I think he has a ton of potential right now.
Simeon, man,
you guys might see them Jordan Loves tomorrow on Nate's channel for the sports card auction we're doing at 4 p.m.
The Chiefs lost me some money last week or 2 weeks?
Last week.
Yeah, last week. They lost me some money, man. Let me down, man. They let me down.
Yeah, they let me down too, man, because I didn't want Brady to get number 7. Brady has more than my Steelers now. Him alone has more than our team, dude.
Well, at least he didn't give the Patriots 7.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes it a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's crazy was like I picked the Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl before the season started for $1. They had some special promotion on DraftKings, so if I put in $1, I could have won 56 if they'd have won. So that wasn't a huge deal. But I did put up some money on Kansas City through Bet MGM or whatever, and I lost $40 or something. So it wasn't crazy, but that was the only reason why I didn't go super heavy, because I was betting against Tom Brady. I didn't want to, basically get Tom Brady over and over and over again. So
yeah, that would have been rough. So do you have anything that you're kind of expecting to kind of take off next? Like any predictions that you can give without like actually like giving away cards you're watching?
I mean, honestly, like with the kind of the craze, for some of the vintage stuff, look at the inserts. I've always looked at that type of stuff. For like the older guys, if they got rings and they were once one of the top players, probably should buy some of that type of stuff, raw, and then just grade it or hold on to it, and because the prices will still multiply regardless if it's graded or not. If you catch it early before the people start swapping in and getting them and stuff like that. So that, and I don't know how else to say without saying the player, but so I can't really say too much else. But
yeah, not a problem.
I sold one of his cards on eBay not that long ago. Let's just say that I got more money than I probably should have for it.
Mm-hmm.
But now, they're probably one of the hottest teams in the league. So
yeah. You know what though, Moko? He said he got a Derek Fisher for $5, sold for 20. He says it's not a big profit, but like across so many times, it definitely adds up, and like really that's how you make money in the hobby, is going and finding stuff in the bargain bins. And like I was telling Nate, like the one place here in Pittsburgh, it's over in Cranberry. It's called Baseball Card Castle. They had some fire in their bargain bins the last time I was there. And granted, I haven't been there since, like, you know, pandemic and everything like that. But the last time I was there, I pulled probably 5 or 6 Bam out of Bio Prism rookies out of there between like his base. I had one that was like a Mojo, but it was damaged, so I really had to like lower the value on it. And then I had a couple emergent ones too. But I was getting like 50, $60 for his, you know, base prisms, you know, and I got them out of the dollar bin. So there's like tons of value, especially like if you live in a city. For example, like Pittsburgh doesn't have a basketball team, and like there's not a huge NBA fan base here in the city. So a lot of people are basically just getting into basketball because they know it's hot, and they might know like the Lucas, the Treys, you know, like the higher end guys that everybody's after. But like the Bam Adebayos, who was a first time All-Star last season, you know what I mean, who wasn't drafted, you know, in the lottery. Or if he was like one of the last couple picks of the lottery. I'm pretty sure he was like the middle of the first round, though, where the Heat got him. But yeah, he was a guy that wasn't on their radar. You know, I was able to pick up some of his stuff super cheap.
Yeah, I mean that's how, you know, if you're buying on a budget, you know, that's the best way to do it. You know what I mean? Like you take, say, $5 or whatever, and it kind of snowballs. The next, you know, like, you know, you're buying a $300 Zion or Kobe or, you know, whatever. So I mean, it's just the best. It's just the best way to do it. I mean, it's kind of like you know, like a free upgrade every time you flip. You know what I mean? Every time you turn that money over. I mean, if you're on a budget, or, you know, or times are hard because of COVID or whatever, you know what I mean, you still want to try and make some plays, make some investment things or deals, and make some extra money. I mean, it's the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like my thinking on some different ways to do things, because my first thought was, you know, basically buy XYZ players from time to time, or buy cards once a month, twice a month, hold, and then eventually at some point sell them. So this way, like, I don't have to keep buying and buying and buying and having to deal with like getting raw cards in and they're not in good condition, or, you know, whatever. So I was trying to prevent having to do a lot of extra work, because, you know, I do work a full-time job and stuff like that. So any type of income that I can pull off the cards was basically like gravy on top. So you know, if I like got a Luka rookie, like I do, like the one I have, and I hold it for 10 years, and, you know, that $200 price tag that I got on it, you know what I mean? Now, you know, 10 years later, it might be a $5,000 card or $10,000 card or whatever, who knows? So you know, it's just different ways of being able to make money in the hobby and keep your collections going.
Yeah, I think that's awesome what Moko said here. His parents make him do with his profits from cards, because it's teaching him how to like save money and be a good steward and everything like that. And at the same time, I'm sure you're probably still working your way up to some pretty sick stuff, man. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah, it's just getting you ready to be a, you know, full-blown adult, and, you know, when you got bills and things you got to pay for, and cars and whatever else. I mean, that's how you basically do it, you know. So
definitely,
so you're a step ahead of the game here, Moko.
The nice thing, Simeon, like, you can post something too high, but in this market, especially for somebody like Tom Brady right off of the Super Bowl, you know, I don't think $4 is too high. You know, I would probably list most Tom Brady's for at least $3 to $4, you know, based on whatever their like going comps are. I would imagine the comps are probably a little inflated since they just won the Super Bowl, but depending on what you have and depending on the condition, I don't think that's bad, you know. And Tom Brady stuff's always going to be something that's in demand, because to most people, they consider him to be the GOAT. And, you know, after 7 Super Bowls, like, I can't even really argue it anymore. As much as I'd like to.
What day was the Super Bowl on?
Sunday.
What day was that exactly?
The 6th? No, the 7th.
Okay, so on the 8th was the highest his Chrome was going for. It was going for 20,000, and his prices have already dipped down to 20,000. So it went down $8,000 since the Super Bowl, which is crazy because how would his prices go down? But that's
do you want to share that like on the screen?
yeah. Share Chrome tab.
So this is Market Movers, guys. I'm sure most of you know that, but it's a program that we use that Sports Card Investor put out.
So here's his Bowman Chrome and his just Bowman paper, and I put up his 9s and his 10s. So his 9s, his blue is his 10, and his green is his 10. So his green Chrome is his highest, and it went all the way up to $28,000. That was the basically from the 8th, and then from that point on, it just went down, and kind of everything did.
Mm-hmm.
Look, all these sales finished here. Like his Bowman paper 10 was 16, and now it's 12. So it went down 4,000.
Dude, could you look up his 2020 Prism Silver? I'd just be curious to see what that's doing because I just sold one on my eBay store for Marty the other day. It's technically considered to be his Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie.
Hell yeah,
he's like super old.
So his raw price on the 9th was for that card was $373, and it went down to $311.
Okay, so that's falling too.
His prices on mostly everything, it seems like it's dropping, which I mean it's kind of how it is with with modern stuff. Like as soon as the season's over, the hype's over, forget about it, and then right before the season starts next year, you'll see it build back up. So basically, if there's anything that is not in season, so like right now, baseball, football, basically anything but baseball, I guess right now for the most part.
Yeah.
It's in play right now. You can get some decent deals and pick up some good stuff. So
yeah, as far as like grading and stuff, like even for the most recent GMA order, like I was sending some stuff in for a friend of mine, and I basically told him like, dude, just hold your football stuff. We'll send that in next month because until draft time, like you're gonna just see this stuff start to go down. So there's no sense in putting your stuff into a market that's like going down. By the time you would get the next month's submission back, it'll be draft time and everybody's going to be looking for football again. Whereas like right now, it's like everybody's moving back into basketball, unless they're like diehard football where they're like us, where you're trying to zig where others are zagging to try to find the truer value. And, just for example, I was watching a guy who basically his strategy is he buys entirely in the off season. Like the only time he'll ever pick something up during like the regular season is if the value goes like way down. And then his goal is to flip it like as soon as the season starts. So that way he doesn't get stuck with like a guy like blowing out his like ACL or, something crazy like that happening, where he's not going to get like the major, like big chunky profits. You know what I mean? Like, say like Luka Doncic's card got, and going from being like a $35 PSA 10 to like a $3,500 PSA 10. He's not going to get that chunky profit, but he's also not going to like lose out on like the Kevin Porter Jr.'s of the world and, like the other people that just do stupid stuff and kill their value and whatnot. We say what's up to Justin, the flipping accountant. He says, good evening, you handsome bearded devils. J Dub's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Got Alex in the house, Fat Man the Flipper. Good to see you, my man. What up?
I'm glad I sold my Brady's when I did because I was just looking at the fireworks and the prism that I had from the year before, and they sold for like 100 or something each or something like that. So it was like about what I was trying to sell it for at the auctions or what they were selling for. So I got a little extra, but yeah, if I would have held them, then I wouldn't have probably sold them until next year. But honestly, if I'd have known he was going to win that Super Bowl, I probably would have said this is going in the 401k pile type thing. Just hold. But
what's up, Francis? Good to see you, man. I couldn't tell you whether or not. I'm sure they'd find some way to lock you up, but yeah, I wouldn't know. But Moko's asking, is GMA good? I like GMA personally. I use them on like my lower end stuff. Like I send all my Prism draft picks for the most part, unless it's like, anything numbered, autoed, or like color. And even some cases I will send that stuff there if I need to like get our order into bulk or something like that. But yeah, it's really good for flipping lower end stuff. I was able to take a LaMelo Ball base Prism draft picks and flip it for $100. You know what I mean? Where I thought that was a pretty nice little profit. So if I'm trying to get stuff to the market fast and I don't want to pay express because it's not like an investable type card, and what I mean by that is like Prism draft picks, while they're nice, while it's still a Prism card, once the pro debut jerseys come out, no one's going to really be trying to get the Prism draft picks unless you're like me and you PC a certain team or a certain player and you want to get the rainbow. You know what I mean? Like I've gone back through and picked up a whole bunch of Okoros for like $1, $2 at expiring auctions just because I want to have the rainbow in them. But for the most part, people move on to the next, so I like to try to get some of that stuff that I know is going to go down in value into GMA fast and onto the market quick. And GMA is great for that. The last order I sent them last month, we got back in 7 days. And I just sent in another order with them this past Monday. And I'm hoping we'll get it back either, this upcoming week or next week at the latest, most likely. Now, they tell you it's going to be like a good 25 to 45 business days, but they're so much faster than that. It's insane.
What up, Cajun? Good to see you. You said
up,
those Pokemon
you,
TCG Hidden Fate Elite Trainer boxes were fire.
What's up? Yeah, Marco, it does. Essentially, so here's the way to look at it. A GMA 10 is going to be roughly around the price of like a PSA 9, unless it's like something like super like fire. Then it'll probably still be a little bit less. But it's definitely gone up in value, like in the past year that I've been tracking GMA at least. I first started looking into GMA because I was trying to identify something even cheaper than like SGC, which you can typically get their slabs for about 15 to 20% less than PSA. So I was trying to find an even cheaper solution to like buy and crack like, bigger cards to resub over to PSA. And I actually just started doing some searches for, different GMA stuff. And actually one of the guys that actually, made me think about sending stuff in is in the chat, Grunt Dad. He does a ton of GMA submissions. And okay, yeah, he said GMA posted recently their turnaround time is up to 50 days now. But like you said, they've been much faster. Yeah, absolutely. Like I even got an email from them saying, okay, your order should ship by X date. And like it came so much faster.
Yeah, with GMA, it usually raises the price like, a little chunk above like raw for the most part. Like it's not going to be BGS prices, not going to be PSA prices, but it's good for the quick flip type of stuff. Like, like he was saying, like the draft picks and stuff like that before Prism comes out and different things like that, or just, lower end stuff that, maybe isn't worth getting great with PSA because of the fees and stuff, but because it's a, only $6 or not $6, but a few bucks on top or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's not as bad.
So here's a good question here from Knowledge Power. And this is a really good question as far as NBA hoops goes. I don't think it'll be the premium product. Number one, because it's paper. Now they do have the premium stock, which I could see having a little bit more love, but in my opinion, I think the only way hoops could become more of like a premium product is if it really pulls on like the nostalgia of people that grew up in the 90s and they were buying cards, you know what I mean? And it was like those type of hoops cards. But I think for the most part, the best value as far as like the premium card values is going to really be in the Prisms, the Select, and the Optic, mainly. And, unless you're able to afford like the National Treasure type stuff, which I know like the majority of collectors aren't. Like I can't, like full transparency. Like me grabbing a box of National Treasures, that's probably not on the docket like anytime soon. Especially if I want to stay married.
Right. Yeah, I just don't think that it almost has to be a consensus type thing within the hobby. You know what I mean? Like, what is the flagship? What is the main product that, you know, everyone wants? You know what I mean? And Prism has delivered, you know, that and more, you know, to solidify them as being the top dog, especially for basketball. Not for baseball, of course, because Topps Chrome and that is the top dog in that. But I mean, it kind of does its purpose. Like with hoops, it's kind of like okay, they're finally in the pro jerseys. We don't have Prism out for a while. Get us through to a Prism. It's almost like the hoops kind of thing, and you know, it does its job. You know,
Moko for GMA, yeah, you can send it in top loaders, or you can use card savers like PSA prefers. But yeah, they're fine with top loaders. Grunt Dad actually has a really good video on how he packs his stuff for GMA, and he puts like a strip of tape, you know, around the top loaders to keep them from coming off. And I know that you can also do like rubber bands and stuff like that to kind of keep the cards from sliding out. That's the main reason PSA prefers the card saver, is that the card doesn't really slide around in it. Whereas, like, for example, like a card saver, like I could very easily shake this, and thank God it didn't slide out, but it very easily could have slid out. And I don't know how many times like I've gotten like a card in the mail and like it's all the way to the top of the top loader, and like just the piece of painter's tape is what held it from sliding out. So most of the time that's why they do that, because who knows like who's handling your box, if they're having a good day or a bad day. They could just say you're sending like 100 card sub to PSA and top loaders, right? They could just take it and throw it in there. And you know, say you have cards like any of these like thicker ones that like, look how easily that slid out, you know? That's the main reason they like the other ones, is just because the cards don't really move in them.
yeah, with PSA, you have to send them in with rubber bands on top of cardboard.
Yep.
That is how they want it. They don't want any of the tape or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
They just want it to be as quick and easy as possible. They don't want to sit there and have to peel tape or unwrap your stuff, which could somehow, some way damage a card in a way. They don't want any type of liability or anything like that, because anything going to PSA has got to be worth at least a little something.
J-Dub, how much did you like how many cards did you send in, I should say? I'd be curious to see just like why it took that long. Because I'm trying to think when I sent in my last GMA order, because it came back super fast, but I only sent 20 in my first one because I just wanted to test them first. You know what I mean? And normally, like, you guys will see it when I put out my SGC reveal video this week. When I first go through a service, I try to let certain things slip just so I can kind of gauge, like, going forward when I want to go heavier with it, like what type of stuff they won't grade as hard, what kind of stuff they will grade a little bit harder. So I like to do that just to kind of gauge, you know, just the way that they grade different items. So there was a couple cards in there that, you know, got a little bit lower. But by the same point, I was just trying to see how they were going to grade them.
The majority of their stuff you sent in with draft picks too, so that helped probably with your
yeah,
time and stuff too.
For me, that helped definitely.
You know, like if you're sending say 100, 120 cards or whatever, and you got all different sets and different years and things like that, there's a lot more, I'm sure, research involved just to, you know, make sure that the labels are correct or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, so he sent 22. That's funny. That it was only it took him longer to get it to me.
Huh.
eBay's in the house. What is up? Good to see you.
eBay.
I get a bump on my store.
I think I've got a bump it today.
Absolutely, eBay. Yeah, this is an open forum Q&A, and anything you want to ask, feel free. Appreciate you stopping in. Yeah, do any of you guys have questions for us? I guess that's something that we probably should have asked before we've been live for an hour. Like, are there any questions in our Q&A? So yeah, any questions that you guys have, just feel free to throw them in there. Oh, that's cool. He said he lost the bet on his username. But yeah, any questions you guys have, feel free to fire them in there, and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't know, we'll look it up.
Good old college try. Says he has a bunch of boxes I want to sell, but I would never trust eBay. Ironic. So.
Gotcha. So he says because customers can, open them and claim an INAD or whatnot. I know that eBay has been putting in measures specifically when it comes to sports cards to kind of go against any kind of like impulse, like people that, buy something and then just want to back out of it, you know what I mean, for any reason other than the INAD. But yeah, what I've found though, like when it comes to sports cards specifically, I've had less trouble with sports cards than I've had with many other categories on eBay. Seems like, every once in a while you'll get one like kind of sketchy person, but for the most part, as long as you pack it well, you should be fine. But what I try to do is anytime I come across somebody that's kind of sketch, I just block them because that way I don't have to worry about it again.
I mean, like the main thing is just being honest about the condition and stuff of the card. You know what I mean? Because, for example, I opened up a bunch of a set of 2005 tops. Like these were never touched; these were sealed. So on my description, I said PSA ready, mint, because they went straight from the box, and I wore gloves. I was like super protected when I did this, and went right into the top loaders. So of course, these cards are going to be beautiful. So with that, I tried out the new eBay envelope. I'll be printing that off probably after the show. And, I'll probably have more information on that because it's the first time I've actually done it. But as long as you're honest about your descriptions and stuff like that, and you have tracking, which with the new standard envelope, as long as the card's under $20, you can use that standard envelope and you have tracking, you're protected with eBay. You know what I mean? So as long as you're honest, like if you have a card that's, you can't, you won't want to grade it because there's surface issues or whatever. Just put in there in your title, read description, and then put it on the description. Put your, like the like new or whatever. Make sure it matches with the type of condition it is. If it's a bad condition card, be honest. I mean, just be honest. Yeah. You'll get fair market value for what the card is, because there's a lot of people that PC guys that just want the card. They don't want to have to pay $100 for it, or maybe there's people that just can't afford it and they want the card because that's their PC. So just be honest. And honestly, I mean, eBay will protect you if you are 100% honest with your listing, stuff like that. But don't put out a card that is off-centered, there's surface damage, and then send it and then be like, why did I get a return? Because I mean, it just you kind of did it yourself. You know what I mean? So just be honest and honest. I mean, in all reality, I mean, as a person that grades cards and has all the, things to look at them, or whatever, I've had to send back cards because the person was like highly gradable, and then I go look at the card and there's like a Nike swoosh, like from the person who had the card. So of course I'm gonna have to return it or do something with it because, I'm a little higher end of a person that would buy the card because I'm actually going to grade it and I'm looking at everything super high level of it. But, if that wasn't in the description, if it was new or like new, and it's really a beat up card that was like thrown into a box that you had like a bunch of cards in a shoe box and just thrown in there, those ain't going to be mint. So, yeah. But if you're honest, I mean, honestly, I wouldn't worry too much about eBay, like having issues or problems. Just make sure that tracking's good and you're in good shape.
That would be your best bet, man. If you could hook up with a breaker, that would 100% be the number one way to make as much money with your product as possible. Because if you think of it, most breakers, they get their product on the secondary market. They're used to paying eBay prices. So they're making money. They're not buying eBay prices and losing money on the item. So if you were able to get into a situation like that where the product was going right into a break, you'd probably make substantially more. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I get what you mean. Like I had, just like you were saying, where eBay took, the other person's side and not yours. Like I just, might have been like $225 or something like that. I sold a Michael Kors purse, like, cause my wife, before her second client got back out of the hospital, cause she had like COVID and stuff like that. She was picking up some extra money by selling on Macari and Poshmark and stuff like that. So once her second client got back out of the hospital, she didn't really need the extra money anymore. So I just got all of her inventory. So I sold this brand new, it was like a gorgeous purse. You know what I mean? Like probably if you went to the outlet store, it'd be like a $300-$400 purse. So I sold it for like $225. And like literally the person like must have rented it throughout the holidays because eBay approved their return. And it's no longer a new purse. It's been used. It doesn't have tags anymore. And I was SOL. And pretty much eBay just says, that's the cost of doing business. You know what I mean? And like, it'd be the same. Like if say you sold at a flea market, right? And you just had a bunch of bargain bins out, every once in a while, somebody's going to make it off with a card. But for the most part, you know what I mean? You're still going to do good business with 99% of the people that come by. And like when I first started in eBay, I was super sketched about it. But like most of the time that I'm sketched out, it's just like my head, but I understand if you've been burnt, like, cause I've been burnt too, you know what I mean? And like, especially if you're selling bigger cards, you know what I mean? It could really be a big deal. Like I actually got burnt. Not that it's like a super huge card, but I got burned on an SGC 9 optic Zion Williamson. And like it literally dude like shows me this slab and it looks like mangled, like a crocodile was like chewing on the thing or whatnot. And I'm like, how the heck did that happen? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just one of those things, man. I fully understand.
The thing is, if it's a brand new box sealed and it has the cellophane on it, if you offer free returns, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you offer free returns and that package comes back opened, then you could take up to half the money and keep it. You know what I'm saying? Or if they totally don't send you anything back that resembles anything to what you sent them, then of course you'd have to like fight with eBay or with it, whatever. But usually with that, they would side with both people and eBay would eat the money for the most part. So
yeah.
But if you do free returns, you're able to pull some of that money back because like for example, I don't know if I don't know exactly what your situation with the purse was, but like with them taking the tags off, you could have held half the money because it wasn't a new item anymore because there was no tags on it. So, having free returns is the only way you get that option to be able to refund only like half the money or whatever too.
Yeah, I mean, eBay definitely doesn't care. I mean, they want you to stay as a seller just so like you're pumping more money into their pockets. But when it comes down to it, they really probably don't care that you got ripped off. You know what I mean? More so they just want this person to keep buying on their platform. But here's the way I look at it, and this might change your opinion a little bit. Like, what if I said like selling your boxes off of eBay, you might make $60,000 this year. But what if I said if you were selling them on eBay, you'd make $120,000? And this is just like a round number because eBay opens you up to like a global, like, customer base. You know what I mean? So like you can, that's the main reason I continue to sell there is just because like I have access to people buying from me that like I would never have met in real life and they would never have heard of me. And like, quite frankly, I get more money on eBay than I do in other platforms for the most part. But like if you knew you were going to double your money going from like say 60K to 120K in the year, but knowing upfront you're going to probably lose about $2,000 in theft. Would like $2,000 of theft to gain an extra 60,000, would that be worth it? Like, because for me, like that was kind of like the decision I was faced with. Like, okay, I know that I could just do like the whole Facebook, Twitter, like whatever type of thing with my cards. But I know that like I have a lot more people looking at my stuff if I put it on eBay, knowing that every once in a while somebody's going to get over on me, like knowing that I'm still in the long end making more money because of it. Like I'm okay with the trade-off. But if you're not, that's okay because like that's the cool thing about the hobby and like eBay and about, all of this, like we can kind of tailor make it to what fits our life better, you know?
I can honestly say, like, I've been selling on eBay probably for what, like 8 years or 5 years? I don't know, probably like 5 years roughly. And I don't think I've ever had a scenario where I'm like, I got totally screwed. Maybe I'm lucky, and knock on wood. But like, here's a crazy example. I listed 2 of these cards today. Marcus Spears and a Marion Barber rookie cards. They sold instantly. How many times can you could say that you put those on Twitter? Well, maybe on Twitter, depending on how big your following is, maybe you'd sell them quick because someone PCs it. But I sold them instantly. You know what I mean? And they aren't high dollar cards and whatever else. But you know, like you said, the exposure and you know, if you understand kind of how things kind of work and how to deal with some certain situations, a lot of the stuff that you're worrying about, you know, you're kind of protected in a way, you know what I mean? So me and Anthony have been selling on eBay for a long time, and I know a few people in the chat definitely have been for a while too. We're always here to answer questions, help out anybody like that. So I'm going to drop in our Facebook group link, and if you have any questions or anything, have any issues or whatever, you can always ask them in there, or you can just send us DMs or whatever too. So
a show wouldn't be a bad idea for you either, eBay. Like seriously, like there's a lot of people that are making good money on wax at the local card show that we went to. So like even if you were to get a table and literally you're selling nothing but wax, you'll probably still make some good money. You know what I mean? Because you could probably still ask something comparable to eBay, not have to pay any fees, no PayPal even, like nothing. You know what I mean? And just boom, cash to hand type thing. Mama's in the house. Good to see you.
What's up, Mama?
#1 Dolphins fan.
Tua.
But yeah, dude, you do well at those. And the cool thing is, if you go to those shows and you just start talking to people, you might find a breaker that's looking for inventory. Somebody might walk by and be like, dude, where are you getting all this stuff? Like, I'm constantly paying X amount on eBay and I can't find it. You know, then you might be able to swoop in and be like, oh man, I'll hook you up a little bit cheaper than that. And then boom, next thing you know, like you got like somebody that's an all the time customer for you, you know? So it's just a thought, you know, like the more people you network with, the better off you are with pretty much anything. Because there's a buyer out there for everything.
If eBay was close to me, I'm so the luck that I have on eBay, I would almost consign his cards for him just to give him 100% no worry type thing. But I would have to have them in my possession.
You know what? I actually like some of my listings that I sell on eBay literally are just people that don't want to deal with eBay. So like they say, here, I have X, Y, and Z. Like, will you sell them for me? And we'll just split the profits. So like I do that for friends all the time just because, you know, they may have had horrible experiences with eBay or whatnot in the past. You know, and like I said, I've taken some losses, but like the volume of stuff that I've sold on eBay, like the profits have always outgained like the losses for me. Now, if you're not like planning to sell like on any like higher level, then like, yeah, getting burnt once or twice can really like torpedo like what you're doing there. You see AJ, man. Hopefully we will get to see you tomorrow. Hopefully you have a good night, man.
Later, AJ. Kind of wish I didn't sell that Kobe to him now.
Yeah, dude, you probably got some real fire if you got those 95 to 2005 boxes.
Yeah.
Moko said my eBay link doesn't work here. Let me type it in for you in the chat here. Actually, I'll just go to my eBay page and give you a real link.
How many boxes of cards do you have, eBay? Just rough estimate.
There's my eBay store link, guys. I just threw it in the chat for you. No pressure to like buy anything, but if anyone wants to like peruse, feel free. But I do tell my subscribers, like a lot of times, like I'll price my cards up because the market moves fast. So send me a message if you're, you know, buying something there, because most of the time I can give you much better deals off eBay like through, our sports card auction we do on Sundays. And tomorrow we're actually doing one on Nate's channel at 4:00. So, if you do look at the store and if you see anything you like there, in my description here, I'll just put my email up here too. I'll put my email in the chat. You can just send me an email, or if you message me on one of the social media platforms, because eBay doesn't like you taking business off their platform. So if somebody mentions it, I have to deny them via message on eBay. But if you shoot me a message off of eBay, I'll gladly save you the, whatever the eBay fees would be, and X, Y, and Z. BJ's in the house. What up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
What's up, BJ?
Yep. Here's a pro tip, too, for anyone that tries to exploit you guys for feedback on eBay. The awesome thing is, as long as you do everything eBay asks you to do as a seller, even if they're mad and give you bad feedback, you can call eBay and have them remove that for you. So, like, I've only had to do that one time I've been selling on and off eBay probably since like the late 90s, just like sports cards, Pokemon cards, video games, that kind of stuff. I got serious as far as doing it full time, probably just in the last 3 years. But I've really only had to call eBay one time to have any kind of feedback removed. But there are some people that will try to like exploit you to like give them free stuff to get like, to not get bad feedback or something like that. But in the odd chance somebody does try to be a butthole, you can always just call eBay and they'll remove it for you. Cool, Simeon. Yeah, I'd love to have you there, man. Anybody that wants to come out tomorrow, Nate just dropped a link there in the chat. I'll actually pin that to the top so that way anybody wants to go and set a reminder, subscribe to Nate's channel, because he puts out a lot of really good content too. And this live stream that we're doing now is actually going to be on his channel next week. And then the auction will come to my channel next week. So we kind of flip back and forth every week. Yeah, any other questions you guys have before we start to wrap it up for the night? Want to make sure to leave any questions unanswered. Yeah, Moko, every single Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, either on my channel or on Nate's channel, we do a live sports card auction where we'll sell, graded cards, raw cards, a little bit of everything, from A to Z, all the major sports, Pokemon, like pretty much anything we get in. Like every single week too, I always, grab a new box of stuff to go through. So we're always having new stuff. And plus this week I have a bunch of stuff I grabbed from Kells I'm going to throw in the auction as well. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow at 4 p.m. on Nate's channel. And that's the link that I have pinned in the chat over there.
Yep.
So yeah, any of you guys, and we do kind of like a hobby talk during the auction too. So you don't necessarily have to be a buyer to be there. You could just come hang out and talk sports cards and whatever.
A lot more stuff we start low too, unless it's something super, super high value, like a slab or something, you know what I mean? Or unless somebody is inquiring on a certain player or whatever, maybe we'll throw some higher dollar stuff out. But for the most part, it's a lot of, we want to make it, like raw cards, cheaper cards, stuff like that. So, you can stack them and then, we do sometimes we'll hold cards for people if they want us to, and then we just ship them out all one time, and we only pay shipping once.
Yeah, I appreciate that, eBay. Really appreciate that. Hope to see you again. What's your name normally when you're not losing bets in your code eBay? So that way I'll remember you if you ever come back under your other name.
Are you a pro Amazon guy? Is that why you had to switch to eBay? If so, me and you are like,
yep. Me and Nate used to have battles every morning on our morning show when we used to, because I was the pro eBay guy, he was the pro Amazon guy, and dude, like honestly, my Amazon's like dead right now, bro. After I sold out of that inventory, remember I told you I turned merch fulfilled? Like that stuff sold out like within the week, and like I haven't heard another ding from Amazon since. But then again, I haven't sent anything into them since before the pandemic like even started. You know what I mean? Like it might have been like last December last time I sent them something.
Damn.
But yeah, it's been selling throughout the year. Nice. But eBay says it doesn't do Amazon at all. Oh, okay, so you had to sign up with eBay. Gotcha. The Breaks is in the house. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you being here.
He just says, you have any old school Star Wars?
Like cards? You know what? I actually do have some, but they're not good condition. So what I would say as far as any of my old school Star Wars that I can dig out, I'll just throw in your stack, man, next time I send you stuff. Because I know for a fact they came out of a storage locker and they were buried inside of a pocket of something that was like bundled up. So I know for a fact they're not in like great condition. I'll just give them to you. That's awesome, man. eBay says he was doing low cost flea markets and stuff till the pandemic. Yeah, I actually sell at least 1 to 2 flea markets at least I did before the pandemic. This last year, I might have gone a handful of times, maybe once a month, if not like, you know, twice a month or something like that. Whereas like I was going like several times a week, you know, for like the longest time. You know, like I was doing a lot of storage lockers and stuff this past year. So like when you're doing that, like you need to find a way to like liquidate a lot of junk fast, you know? So like flea markets were like ideal for that kind of stuff. But, you know, once the pandemic hit, like sports cards, like I've mentioned this in a video before, but sports cards pretty much saved my eBay business because most of the stuff I was getting would be from storage lockers, thrift stores, garage sales, like that kind of stuff, you know, and then once all that dried up, it was sports cards, you know, and I just got back into, you know, a bunch of collections that I had bought in over years that, you know, were collecting dust that I wasn't messing with. And next thing you know, I started finding product and boom, right back in the game, just being able to do something I love, you know, and, you know, the great thing is like, I get to do a hobby for a living, you know, so it's kind of cool. Not saying that like I'm balling or anything for being like a sports card investor or anything like that. Like my wife works a full-time job, you know what I mean? And I don't necessarily need to make X amount per month for us to survive. So like literally I can just do something I'm passionate about, you know, like YouTube and sports cards. And, you know, like it's really cool, you know, that this hobby has provided ways for, you know, people to like get paid to do something that they like to do. So I think that's cool.
Anytime you do anything that you enjoy or a hobby that you like and you're able to make, even if it's a few bucks, you know what I mean? It's just that much more awesome because it's something you're not dreading to go to or whatever. Like me, I got to go to work at 5 a.m, dreading it.
Yeah, I would imagine New York would be tough, eBay, especially with like all of the people that live down there. Because Pennsylvania sucks and we're not too far from you. Like, as far as things being shut down. Like I was actually, let's see, when did we stop our morning show? Was it August maybe? We stopped it. Like I was getting ready because our state opened up pretty nicely. Like a buddy of mine had just gotten a storefront and I was getting ready to move my stuff in there. And, you know, like part of it was going to be, you know, like a hobby card type shop, you know, and then obviously I'd probably sell like what other crap I was getting from the storage units and stuff in there as well. But just with the way Pennsylvania has been opening and closing stuff, like right now, like retail just wasn't a great move, you know, and, you know, that's where, you know, ironically, eBay kind of, you know, has been a great place. And eBay is like getting behind the community more and more now as far as trying to get more and more people to sell there. So hopefully that will change. Oh, eBay, if you're ever in Pennsylvania, let us know, man.
Yeah, he's usually on the other side. You gotta come to the championship side of things.
Sadly, I think the last championship was on that side, though.
Well, can't have them all, I guess, huh?
So Mojo asks a good question. Have we gotten COVID? Not officially. And what I mean by that is, so last year, before like COVID was like a really widespread thing, my buddy Nate says, "Hey, Anthony, I would love to have you over for Super Bowl Sunday." And I said, "Man, I would love to come over for Super Bowl Sunday." And we get there, and next thing you know, like his wife brings out like 5 different types of chips and 3 different dips. They order me 3 different pizzas, and his little kid Junior's over there throwing pizzas up in my face. And well, long story short, the family was sick the week before, and I almost died after that. So I'm guessing that was the COVID, but I don't have any kind of tangible proof because they weren't testing for it yet. Yeah. Because even like the week before, Nate was like deathly sick. And then like the next week, I was deathly sick, and like everyone in his family was pretty sick too. But
yeah, I was like halfway.
It was actually COVID, I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely the sickest I've ever remember being in my life.
Yeah.
And I may or may not have passed out in a puddle of poop for several hours. That might have happened.
That might explain your love of DDB.
It might. It very well might. I can't tell if it played because my computer is buffering. Did it play?
It definitely played.
Okay, cool. I had to break it out. Extreme's in the house. What is up, my man? Good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Extreme was like, what in the heck was that? I'm out of here.
Why did I even click on this channel? This dude's throwing DDB up there, talking about passing out and doo-doo. Like, this is what happens when me and Nate talk too long. We don't have any kind of structure. We just kind of resort to the DDB.
We wing it here and there. But you know what? We always have fun. So
definitely.
If you guys get a chuckle out of all this, we won. Winning.
Yeah. Definitely eBay. And that's the weird thing about it is like you said, some people get it and they don't even know they have it. You know what I mean? And it's like nothing to them. It's almost kind of like a dog whistle, you know what I mean? Where Nate could be sitting there blowing the dog whistle and I might not hear, but my dog's going wild, you know what I mean? Like it's the same type of thing. It's so weird. I know, like I was definitely sick as heck. And then like literally like the next week, everybody's like, "Oh, guess what? We're shutting down COVID." I was like, "Oh, you tried to kill me." But thank you for the hospitality.
It was crazy.
That was the nicest lethal injection I ever got.
The week before the Super Bowl, my whole work was like the plague. And like everyone was just sneezing and all this other stuff. But that was before they even knew what it was, like for real. So like we just thought it was the flu, so.
Nice. Thanks, BJ. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, that sucks that your brother got it, man. Like I know a bunch of people that have had it to this point. My mom works at a hospital too, so she's like, really, really cautious about it. Extreme's loading up the website with some breaks. That might be your man, eBay. Says he's looking to hook up a breaker with some wax, man. So that might be a connection right there.
BJ said, bring some 70s and 80s Oakland A's and Raiders tomorrow, please. I'll dig around. I don't know.
Definitely see what I can find. I know for a fact I have some baseball stars in one of the boxes I was looking for. So I will most likely have A's. And if not, I'll try to find some. Hey, see you, Paul. Take it easy, man. Hope you have a good night.
Paul will be with us tomorrow.
So there is Extreme's website, guys, if anyone wants to check it out. He's a cool dude. Actually, the funny thing is the MPJ card I was showing you guys that I purchased recently, it actually came from one of his auctions.
You have nice cards.
That's the way to go, the breaks. You know what I mean? Like if I could sit and mess with cards all day, like that's the dream right there. Absolutely. And the cool thing too is like I think, and this is something that like kind of me and Nate, I think we're up on a little bit before, the whole pandemic, just because we do YouTube and we're always like in a StreamYard type thing like this. Like, it's never been nothing for me and him to just like hop online and hang out together like privately like this. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's something that's become more of a thing during COVID as well, is just like the social interaction that people are now getting through the computer and stuff like that. You know,
Yep.
so I think that's been kind of cool, you know, being that we can't all be together like we want to be. You know, we could at least still come together, you know, on YouTube or whatever kind of platform, you know, we use or whatnot, and still have that like hobby experience that we like really yearn for.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, see you, Simeon. Hope you have a good night, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. That's a really good call right there, J-Dub. Yeah, man, look into Slab stocks. They're giving tons of money. Or is it Star Stock? Is this Star Stock or Slab Stock, the channel?
Might be Stock X.
Either way, I mean, like, there's definitely some places you could probably look into, especially with that vintage stuff, because the thing is, like, even on like the really good, like, high demand sets, while the pops keep raising on the cards, they keep declining on the actual wax. So while the cards, you know, do get more valuable, but they decrease with the population, the wax is like the opposite. It just continues to gain value. So yeah, you might have some gems there, man. I will definitely look for all of those players for you, man. Let me write it down because I'll forget.
How about Kevin Durant's first time back to Golden State today, huh?
Oh, yeah. Has the game started yet?
Yep.
Nice. Is it on right now?
Mm-hmm.
We'll definitely have to pop that on here momentarily.
9 minutes in the first quarter, so.
Nice. Philly Picker's in the house. What up, Joe? Good to see you, man.
What up, Joe?
Okay, yeah. So it's Slab Stocks, the YouTube channel. Gotcha. Okay. Because I know that what is not? Oh my god, my watch like constantly thinks I'm talking to it. I know that Star Stock you can also sell wax on now, from what I understand. If not, they're adding that option from what I've seen. Hey, take it easy, BJ. Appreciate you being here, man. We're actually getting ready to shut down here too because I want to catch some of that game, and my back's hurting in this chair. So I appreciate you guys being here. And do me a favor, come check out the auction tomorrow. You might have just saw a cameo from my cat's tail. He says hello. Yeah, I should definitely have a little bit of older basketball. I might have some 70s, but like not a lot. Like I'm pretty sure I have a Bill Walton from somewhere in the 70s handy, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, calm down. Cat's beating up the dog now. That's my cue. But yeah, I'll try to find as much of the vintage stuff as I can. The auction's at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So if you're on you live in Pittsburgh. So yeah, 4 p.m. our time tomorrow, Moko.
Yep.
So yeah, come on out and we'll have a good time. And like Nate was saying earlier, if you guys want to stack your cards so that way you don't have to keep paying shipping every week, we can do that for you too. But either way, just come have a good time. You know, it's a nice place to be yourself, talk about the things you enjoy.
Card sports.
Oh, that's awesome, BJ. He met Bill Walton at a Grateful Dead concert. That's awesome, dude. I got to hear that story sometime. Say hi.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, hi, buddy. That's Nala. For those of you guys that don't know Nala yet, I actually just sent in a card to GMA last week of a Siamese cat to get slabbed. It's like a relic card. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. And Nate and I will see you tomorrow on his channel, guys. I'll have a video premiering around noon tomorrow if anybody wants to see the cards I picked up at Kells. So look forward to seeing you guys then. Till then, may God bless you